Ladies and gentlemen, I just finished watching Dexter Resurrection Episode 3. And for those of you out there who say, all I am is a hate channel, guess what? This was one of the best episodes of Dexter that I've seen in a long time. I absolutely loved this episode in every single way. I don't really think, okay, there was like one element there that I didn't like, so I'll get the one thing I didn't like out of the way. I'll get it out of the way right now. At the very end of the episode, Dexter gets invited. Well, he doesn't get invited. The dark passenger gets invited to this meeting of the billionaires, which is an interesting twist where this billionaire guy is recruiting killers who are like-minded and giving them a cash incentive of $100,000. That's really interesting. But so Dexter doesn't get invited. The guy who is playing the dark passenger, this guy who got killed in the episode, he was actually invited, given $100,000, and Dexter read all of this after he killed him. But then Dexter doesn't read at the very bottom that a thumbprint is needed in order to get in. So even though he read this after he had already put the knife in him, he didn't chop him up or anything. He reads this, then he chops him up, then he puts him in a furnace, then out of nowhere, he reads it again and is like, oh shit. I don't believe that. That doesn't make any sense at all. Whatever. Anyway, if that's the smallest detail, so be it. This episode was truly fantastic. Both the A plot and the B plot. The A plot followed Dexter doing his Uber driving, realizing he has a low rating, so he has to work with his friend, who he's now renting an apartment from, to help him get his rating up. All the while he is doing this so that he could chase down the dark passenger, this guy. I don't remember his name, Rodney or whatever. His name is Rodney Smith or whatever. The whole point of him doing all of this is to chase him down, which he ends up doing at Rockefeller Center, which, by the way, is my subway stop. So it's really interesting when we have these correlations of oh my God, 47th, 50th, that's me. It's absolutely wild. It's so crazy. But anyway, that's the A plot. The B plot, though, I also thought was just as equally fascinating, and that's Harrison being absolutely grilled by the detective. Straight up grilled. He is not getting away with this. Or maybe he will because of what happens at the end of the episode, but that plot really was great. And I know I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've never had a problem with Harrison in Dexter New Blood. So in Dexter Resurrection, I have even less of a problem with him because the writers are doing the right thing for him. They're making things that people had a problem with about him in Dexter New Blood completely erased and making him a truly great character overall. I actually think that's probably the biggest strong suit of this episode is how much I'm really liking Harrison. And I really am enjoying and invested in his story. Yeah, I was never one of the people who had a problem with him, so maybe my opinion's a little bit stronger because of that, but I do think they're doing a better job of fleshing him out because now he is a killer, clearly, but he's a killer with a little bit more of a conscience than Dexter, so that puts him in this kerfuffle, I guess is the only word I could use to describe that. And I think it's just executed, for lack of a better killer word, really, really, really well. Because they're showing that he's flawed. They're showing that he made some mistakes along the way, in a sense, to get caught. But I also like the twist at the end where he kind of goes along with them and lets him think that he's guilty, but really he was just kind of using what he was saying as a ploy to them believe that, to pull at their heartstrings to make them believe that he really is homeless and he just wanted to keep that covered up. I think that's going to throw a little bit of a wrench into this and kind of change the motion of these detectives a little bit. But I don't think they're going to fully be off his case. And it's really interesting to hear that he is in trouble. He is definitely in trouble. They are on to him, for sure. And I'm really curious to see where that goes with Dexter and with his arc with Harrison in the future. I'm so excited to see that. And I think that was probably the biggest takeaway for me of this episode was that dynamic. I thought it was done so well, so swimmingly, for lack of a better word. Swimmingly indeed it was. It was very swimming. But yeah, I loved the B plot. The A plot was really cool too. And I even liked when Dexter got Rodney in the kill table and all of that stuff. I thought that was all done really well. There were some reprises there where Dexter was saying things like, open your eyes and look. At least in his head, he was saying that. I loved the little details like that. I thought they were really, really good. And I also thought the return of Quinn and Masuka in this episode was really great. And I'm glad that I'm going to guess, and I don't know for certain, but I'm going to guess that is not the end of them. Just based off of the conversation Batista had with them where he's retiring, but he said there's something that I know in my heart, but I don't want to tell you until it's right. Almost like you're going to think I'm crazy if I tell you now, but I want you to see when it gets to where it gets. So to me, that means they're going to be in the story a little bit more. Essentially what I think is going to happen, which I know because I saw the trailer for episode 4, is that obviously, Batista is going to go back to New York now that he has this information about Dexter's car, and he's going to find Harrison and talk to him a little bit. I think that's where we're going with this, and he's going to be really on the hunt for him, and I think Miami will still play a bit of a role there, like Miami Homicide. So I think Quinn and Masuka will be in the picture later, but seeing them even for a brief moment was great. Desmond Harrington and Masuka's actor did such a phenomenal job returning to form after years. I mean, it's been 12 years since they played these characters, so them to just fall in so naturally was really, really great to see, and it was just obviously great to see them back again. Unlike New Blood, this really feels like Dexter. And it also really feels like Dexter because we have Dexter back to his original ways, killing people, hunting down killers, and bringing them to justice in the way that he knows best. We didn't really get that in New Blood. Yeah, we got Kurt Caldwell, and we got Matt Caldwell, but that wasn't exactly the same. This was just like true Dexter, just now it's in New York instead of Miami, which is better for me because it's my hometown. Or not my hometown. It's where I live now. It's not like where I'm from. Whatever. Anyway, you get the point. I fucking loved this episode. I genuinely did. And maybe I didn't give enough reasons as to why. I guess overall, there just wasn't a point of me being bored, me questioning anything other than the thumbprint thing at the end, but that's not the end of the world. There wasn't a single moment of this where I had like any doubts about the episode. Everything just worked for me. Every detail of it. I enjoyed all of it, and I'm very, very, very excited to see where it goes. This was definitely, positively a step up from episode 1 and 2, and they were not bad episodes by any stretch of the imagination. They were actually really good episodes. It's just this episode was really stand out, and I've heard from people episode 4 is the exact same way, so I'm very excited to see where that goes. And that just shows the proof is in this concept. The concept is really strong. This show, I think, is going to be really well from start to finish. I'm not going to hold my breath for it because we know what happened at the end of New Blood. Even though I liked New Blood's ending, people didn't and all that stuff. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I think there's enough proof here to say this is going to be a very solid season of TV because there wasn't one bad episode yet at all. I loved every single one of them. And as a matter of fact, I've loved each one more than the last. Episode 1 was great for the Jimmy Smits and obviously the callbacks of all the other characters and stuff like that. I don't know why Jimmy Smits just popped in my head, but like it was great for that reason. John Lithgow, all of that. Episode 2 was great because it's now establishing the story. Episode 3, now we're in the story and it's fucking awesome. That's how I genuinely feel about it. I don't have one complaint. I don't. Yeah, okay, the thumb thing a little bit, but that's not really like that big of a deal. I fucking loved it. I loved it. And yeah, not holding back. So guess what? I liked an episode of TV, guys. Finally, I guess. No, it's just good TV is good TV. Bad TV is bad TV. That's where we're at. I can't wait. Honestly, it sucks that we have to wait a full week for episode 4. That's how good this one was. But yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Did you like this episode? Did you hate this episode? Are you somewhere in the middle? Be sure to comment that all down below. Be sure to follow me on Instagram as well. It's jerry's.takes. I post there mostly new stuff that you don't see on this channel. Sometimes I post the same stuff, but mostly new stuff. And check out the Discord. We're a thriving community talking about Dexter, talking about The Walking Dead, and other shows. So yeah, with all that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching this video, and until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.